Rockets hit the road on Saturday as we welcome in Mike Robinson from the Toledo Rocket Radio Network. Mike Rob, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Before we get to Eastern, let's dissect what happened at Buffalo. Rockets had that big lead. Fourth quarter, they did not play complimentary football. The offense kept giving the ball back to Buffalo, and the Rocket defense just on the field too long in that fourth quarter. They got worn down.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Buffalo for just sticking with their game plan. We knew that this was a football team that really liked the run to set up the pass, and they did the opposite. They passed the ball to set up the run, and they did an excellent job of finding lanes, finding gaps, and tiring out our defense, essentially, because we're kind of banged up on that defensive side of the ball and potentially on the offensive side.
Yeah, as you just alluded to, Daquan Finn took a hard hit in that Buffalo game. His status for Saturday up in the air. If Finn can't go, Tucker Gleason is your backup quarterback. Tucker Gleason gets the start. How does that change the Rocket offense without Daquan Finn if he can't go?
I think you lose just a little bit of mobility if you don't have DQ out there on the football field. I think that's obvious for anybody to know. But the one thing that you do like about Tucker Gleason is that he's a physical kid. He's played at Georgia Tech, which is a run-predicated offense for a quarterback. And he's a solid kid, about 6'4", 200-something plus pounds. I'm not too concerned about him going out there physically. He's going to have to just kind of make sure he steps in the game and make good decisions, kind of be mistake-free early in the game. Because once we do that offensively, you see how well our defense plays complementary to it.
He's been at UT for a couple of years now. He knows the system. Jason Candle's confident that whichever quarterback is in there on Saturday, they will rebound from that loss to Buffalo. Doesn't hurt them in terms of the MAC race quite yet. UT still controls their own destiny. But all of a sudden, after a couple of weeks of everybody thinking they were the team to beat, there's some question marks now about this Rockets.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the wagons are being circled at Eastern Michigan. They got their guys saying, hey, this is the game to win if we want to make our way into that MAC championship contest. So make no mistakes about this football game. This is the biggest game of the season because it's the next game of the season, and it's the MAC. But the one thing is this Eastern Michigan football team, they are battle-tested, they're good, and they have a lot of weapons on offense. And you got to love the way Creighton uses them to find ways to be creative to get the ball to their scat-back type of players.
Both teams with the same record overall, 5-3. Eastern's been much more up and down than the Rockets have been. You can't necessarily compare, but Eastern did lose to Northern Illinois. Toledo didn't have a whole lot of problems when they went to DeKalb. But is that a fair comparison, or is this a different Eagle team?
Well, I think the Eagles are banged up, and listening to the press conference, that's one thing that I learned about this football team. They're trying to get new guys in there just like the Rockets are. So, and again, one thing that Coach Kendall said, all the teams in the MAC are all about development. You got guys that's going to be playing that shouldn't be playing at this point in time just because of the way the rosters are made up. So one thing you look at is saying, can you compare, Northern versus, Toledo and how we put those three together? I think you really can't. Each week, different game plan, different set of circumstances. And for this past week, it was a circumstance of the turnover bug for the Rockets, which is a game they should have won. Typically when they have a lead in that sense and that big of a lead, you expect the team to finish it out. But the turnovers, untimely.
And the transitive property in mathematics does not work in sports. It is not black and white. It's shades of gray. And, well, with Eastern Michigan, it's shades of gray on the field. That's right. They're going up to that gray field on a Saturday, so don't adjust your television sets or your streaming devices. Yes, that field is gray. I want to thank Mike Robinson, never giving us the gray. He always gives us the midnight blue and gold perspective. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mark.